All right, here's my video response to, and first of all, why every time I'm doing this I'm in a car? I don't know, but it's my video response to this meme. What does it say? Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. So the problem, okay, so first of all, that's true. That's true. Just because you're offended, that doesn't mean you're right. Just something has happened and now you're offended. But the problem is that is just a very, very, very surface level. Being that there's a lot of other levels of this and a lot of complications, we'll just say. So just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. That's true. But immediately, one level below that, I still never know where to look on this camera. So one of these days I'll figure that out. Just because I'm not looking at it doesn't mean it's not recording, right? So the first thing that happens is that now you're offended. So immediately comes into play defending your position, ego, being right, not being proven wrong, saving face, all these things. And so really quickly, those become the focus of the thing. I don't know what we'll call the thing that caused the offense, the offended to become offended. So now they're defending their ego, defending their position, wanting to be right, not wanting to be wrong, for all the host of reasons, starting from when you're a tiny kid, being right, being wrong, blah, blah, blah. And so immediately that's what they're drawn into. So now it doesn't matter so much about the whether they were right or wrong, because the focus has come to defending their position, and that's what they're focused on. That's the level just below the surface. But the issue is now they're so distracted here, just defending their position and ego, that another level below that is, how did they even come to the belief that caused them to be offended? So their belief about this thing has been questioned, and so they have to defend it. Defending beliefs is stronger than even the level above where they were just defending their ego. This is a belief, it's been attacked, and the real problem here is that if you start leveling beliefs, it's like a house of cards. So they'll knock down the next one and the next one, and you will have nowhere to stand. So it's important for you to defend your belief at this point, because everything is being held up by them. So now you're defending the next level down, is they're defending their beliefs. But where did this belief even come from? Okay, so super important question. Can't ask the question because you can't see it, because they're still stuck on defending their ego. They don't even know that they're defending a belief or why they're defending the belief. They just know that they're offended. You can't see, kind of like a blind spot. Can't see that reality of what's happening is defending the beliefs, so the house of cards doesn't fall down. So it's kind of like invisible. What's happening there is a powerful force, though. So they're defending their belief. And so where did this belief even come from? So that's a good question. You could spend a whole lot of time figuring that out, where the belief came from, what built it up. You could ask the same as the original thing. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Just because you believe this doesn't mean it's true. Okay, but now you've opened up a whole nother can of worms. But let's just say this belief was implanted on you by society, school, parents, preacher, teacher, so on and so forth. And so you believe it, it's internalized. So now there's two. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. And just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true. So now you're in a double bind. That's two levels of problems there already. This thing just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And so you can full circle back around to the fact that questioning none of these other things. They didn't even question the original thing, to say just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right, meaning it could have been, and probably very well could have been, a misunderstanding, so miscommunication. So had they understood the problem in the beginning, may have never even been offended about a thing that they don't know that they're wrong for being offended for, over a belief they don't even know how they got. So as the saying goes, there's levels to this shit.